For a closer look at the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, I'm joined now by John Entwistle, who is head of the delegation of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, the IFRC. He is in Ramallah in the West Bank. Welcome to you. Many Palestinians have been living under Israeli bombing now for 7 weeks. We're learning this Sunday that at least 30 premature babies at Al-Shifa hospital are being evacuated. What kind of challenges face the families of those babies? How can organisations like yourselves, humanitarian organisations, bring specific support to people in these horrendous conditions?
Good afternoon, Nicholas, and thank you for allowing me the time. I've just been downstairs in the operations room of the Palestine Red Crescent Society, where they monitor and support both emergency service operations in the West Bank and Gaza. When they can reach their colleagues in Gaza, because communications, remember, are just so intermittent, and this is all based on the lack of fuel to drive the generators to generate electricity to allow the communications to work. So it's very challenging. So when you're trying to move people around, keep them safe, you need good communications. This is extremely difficult. When people are on the move, they need to be protected. They are civilians. They also need access to healthcare. They need access to food and water. And what we've seen, and what my colleagues are telling me, is that it is just simply insufficient, the amount of aid that is getting through.
Now, we're going into the winter months. You've looked there at the situation now, but over the next few years, not years, but actually weeks, days, weeks, as we enter deep midwinter, what do you envisage in terms of crisis management in this scenario?
It's the worst case scenario going into a winter season now in a conflict. The fuel that is needed to keep people warm will be lacking. Many of the homes are damaged. I was speaking to a colleague in Gaza this morning. Fortunately, the phone was able to work. And in her home, all the windows had been blown out and damaged. And with the months now becoming colder, this will be an issue. Currently in Ramallah, it is pouring with rain, and that rain and that weather pattern is going to carry on over to Gaza. Again, with damaged homes and cold wind and rain, it makes an unbearable situation even more unbearable.
Now, the humanitarian needs are immense. The IFRC has an emergency appeal to raise funds. I wanted to ask how that is going.
We do have an appeal. It's important to note, too, that the Palestinian Red Crescent, their appeal needs support as well. And they are looking to raise funds to make sure that there are enough humanitarian aid getting into Gaza. And that not only does the aid get in, that it's able to be distributed around the Gaza Strip. And again, this boils down to the lack of fuel that's coming across to be able to power the vehicles to deliver the aid. Most importantly to the north, because it's really important to remember that there's still hundreds of thousands of people trapped in the north of Gaza. The team here at Palestine Red Crescent are still receiving desperate calls, pleas for help for those stuck in the north and unable to move because of the fighting.
Thank you to you, John Entwistle. You are the head of the delegation of the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies, the IFRC. John speaking to us there from Ramallah in the West Bank.